Hello and welcome to the Games Played segment of Monthly Melt. Yeah, I had a
2022.
yep, May of 2022.
Correct.
Uh, this is the games that we played for the month. If you've never seen this before, we talk about the games that played for the month of May, and we played 6 games.
Correct.
And the first one that we played is Koi Garden,
We got yeah.
and I don't know who published that.
That's what I was looking up because that was one of my Kickstarter games. I think it was. I think it was just a person. I don't think it was a group,
But
if I remember correctly. Looking up Koi Garden.
anyways, Koi Garden. You start with it's a fish in your hand.
Yep.
And it is published. It is self-published
Yeah.
by Floyd Blue. So you start with a fish in your hand, and there are a starting koi pond card,
Yep.
and then in the center there are 4 other fish or creatures, because there's also frogs and dragonflies and things like that.
Yep.
And then pond cards. And the way you build out your koi pond garden is you take your creature or fish and you swap it with
One of the ones.
one of the ones in the row.
Correct.
And you take that water card that is below that and you add that to your garden. And each fish or creature has a token that scores different ways and moves different ways.
Yep.
So when you take that creature, so let's say you took the turtle, or let's say you started with the goldfish, I think was one,
Okay.
or the koi fish. We'll use koi fish. Koi fish can move straight ahead or left or right any distance in a certain type of water.
Correct.
Because they're shallow, deep. There's 2 other ones, I believe.
Grass.
Yeah.
I forget what the last one's called.
So with your koi fish card, you move that to where it is, and then there might be a scoring part to it, or it may just score at the end of the game. But let's say you take the turtle card, and then you get the water card that's underneath that. You add that to your board. You're building your own game board, and then when you in the next round, when you exchange the turtle, you play the turtle.
Yep.
And the turtle can move 1 spot. The dragonfly, when you play that, can move diagonally.
Yep.
There's one that scores if it's next to other ones at the end of its move.
Yep.
So I thought that was very unique. The way the game played with you always exchanging the creature you're using or the animal you're using.
Yep.
Because and then there was the
Your hidden goal.
because like in the one game we played, mine was like use two animals.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way I could have did that. All I would have been able to do was switch back and forth, and if Tim would have taken that, I would have had to play a third one anyways.
Yeah.
But that bonus was worth big points. But I thought the gameplay was very unique. You took I forget what, there's somehow you could take this like stone lantern thing and place in the water.
If you use the special power like the
yeah.
rake or something.
Yeah, there's a special power that you could use. And
that anybody could use.
Yeah, you'd put the stone lantern looking thing
somewhere in your garden.
Yeah, because then that blocked that spot.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool, especially how the animals move. The frog could hop over other animals.
Yeah.
The turtle could only move one spot at a time. Dragonflies flew in diagonal patterns.
Yeah.
There's something that moves sort of like a knight in chess, where it was up two and over one. So I thought that was very unique.
Yeah. It was a fun little game. My biggest complaint is the box. It's too small once you have everything punched out and built.
Well, if you put those things together, yes.
Yeah.
You have to take them apart. We only put one together.
Yeah. But that's just a minor nitpick.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time boxes are way too big. You get a ticket to ride size box for a deck of cards.
I'd rather have a box 3 times the size of the game.
For expansions?
No, just in general.
Yeah.
Like that one game we had that was like you're an elf tavern. It was 1 deck of cards,
Yeah.
but the box was huge.
Yeah.
But that was Koi Garden.
Yeah, Koi Garden, fun game.
Yep.
Definitely check it out.
The second game we played this month
Was Horrified.
Yep. The Universal Monster Edition.
Yep.
First one. I'll let you start off talking about this because this was a birthday gift for you.
No, it was a Christmas present.
One of the two.
Yes, it was a Christmas present. Horrified was published by Ravensburger. Cooperative game. If you've never played it, it's a cooperative game. In 2-player game, it was us versus 2 monsters, Dracula and
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I thought it was a very cool cooperative game because you're working at saving the townsfolk. You're working at getting rid of the monsters. Going and picking up the different items that you needed, being able to move townsfolk with you. I thought it was very cool. I thought it was very unique how the monsters moved with their deck of cards and with their
Player boards.
their own player boards. So I thought that was really cool. Horrified was a very popular game the other year. I just got it this past Christmas. Finally broke into it. Really enjoyed our play of it. Can't wait to actually play it with more people. Because I do think that would change the game a bit because you add more monsters. And the monsters you pick actually change it up some.
Yeah.
So I'm not a horror movie fan at all, but I you don't have to be to enjoy this game.
Oh yeah, it was a fun game.
I would like to get the American Monster one now to see if, or at least play it to see if it's any different. I'm sure it plays the same because I'm sure you can interchange them. And
No, because the people required to go to certain locations.
Yeah, but you could move.
But-
The monsters could interchange.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure how they did. And I think I've heard rumblings that there might be another one coming.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did like Japanese monsters, maybe.
Oh, there's all sorts of culture of monsters out there.
You know, or who knows? I'd like to see Canadian monsters.
I would like to see like social monsters.
Yeah, but Horrified, really good game, really good cooperative game. I'd say almost an introductory cooperative game.
I don't know, because you could have people really take over what you're doing on your turn.
Well, you can, but you can in any co-op game.
Yeah, I know, but this one really lends into it. Be like, no, that's not what you're doing. You're moving here, kind of situation.
You know, well, again, that's any co-op game. But I would think with the theme and the gameplay, it's a real good introductory to co-op gaming. But that was Horrified.
Yep. Then we got a couple games in here.
Yep, the next game we played was Rival Restaurants.
Yep. This was the second time we played this,
Yep.
but the first time we played it with the max number of people.
Yes.
Very fun game. I liked it even when we played at 2. Liked it when we played at this player count of, I believe, 6 is the max.
Yeah.
The game that we played, everybody was very nice to each other.
Except for you.
Well, until halfway through, I realized no one was getting in each other's way, which is part of this game. You gotta get into people's way.
And actually, when we played it with 2 players, it was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Playing it with the full complement, I thought made the game better.
Oh, well, once we stopped being so nice, and the person with the trash started giving their trash out,
Yeah.
and I started taking or the other person took people's ingredients. I blocked people from taking ingredients.
Yeah.
That's when the fun ramped up.
Yeah, I mean, it plays 2 to 6. Says it's best 4 to 5. I would totally agree. The more players in this game, the better.
Yep.
The funny thing is, I had the Korean chef, who you got bonuses if you made Korean dishes. I never got any Korean dishes to make.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really got what their chef was.
No.
And I didn't use like the special market at all.
I did constantly.
You did. Because it was almost like if you because you were sitting on that side of the table, you bought from there. Because the people on the other side didn't either.
No.
They pretty much bought just what they needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, at more players, it changes up your strategy a little bit. Because I thought at one point I was really gonna win and do well, and I finished in last.
Yep.
So
That's because I was working on multiple recipes at a time.
so was I.
Yeah.
Even the one lady who couldn't like get what she needed, but wouldn't trade with you at first until she had like tons of cards and.
Well, then what she needed came out. I said, "Well, no, then I'm gonna take because I know that's what you need."
Yeah, and you bought it.
I bought all of it.
So yes, you were the jerk player.
It is called rival restaurant, not friendly restaurants.
But so yeah, my thoughts on this game: 2-player versus 4-player or 6-player. More than 2.
Yeah.
Grassley. Greatly. That's what it greatly improved my thought of the game.
Yeah.
And I would say probably for you as well.
Yeah, it was definitely fun with 6 more than 2.
Yeah. So that was Rival Restaurants, and that was Gap Closer Games.
Okay.
And then the next game we played was a game we played also last month,
Okay.
and that was Creature Comforts.
Yeah. And here we played with the max number,
Yep.
which I believe was 5.
4, 5.
Yeah.
We played with 5. Even though it says it's best at 2, probably because it does take a while. And this Creature Comforts is a kids' table board game.
Yep.
With more players, because there's a lot more downtime between each player. But if I went later in the round, I planned ahead.
Yeah.
Some people didn't.
Yeah, because there's only so many things you can do, so you're like, oh.
Well, you know where you're going.
Yeah.
And you know what the dice are.
Yeah.
So in your head, before it got to be your turn, you should be able to boop, 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 put all the dice out and be done.
Yeah.
But people almost waited till their turn.
Well, I think what also hurt us was table size. I think
It's a big table.
The table we played on was just a bit too big that the person on this end couldn't see the cards on the top. And
Yeah.
I think that was the problem with Restaurant Rival.
Yeah.
I think if our table was slightly smaller,
Yeah.
it would have been slightly better.
Which is weird to say you needed a smaller table.
Yeah.
I mean, for our big game little table,
Yep.
when you play Russian Railroads on a table for 2.
Hey, at least with a little table, you can see everything.
Yep. But Creature Comforts, good game.
Yep.
With the only thing again with the more players, it detracted a little bit because of the downtime between each of your turns.
Yeah.
There were some points where I think I had like 15 minutes between my turns. So, and again, I pre-planned, so for me it was done and move on.
Yeah. But yeah, check out last monthly melt for our thoughts on this game. We pretty much told you what we liked about it. It's a great game.
Yeah.
Go out of your way to
Especially at 2 players.
Yep. I think you give away with 3 or 4.
If it's people that played before,
Yeah.
and you all plan in your head.
Yeah.
If not 2 players, I thought it really worked. The only thing with the more players is more people bought from the ladder.
Yeah.
So we had extra spots to go to. That was the big thing with more players. Because at 2, we didn't really focus on that.
Well, because you needed the stuff when you bought.
Yeah, you need the stuff to buy.
So there's a lot more people with a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
Given the opportunity.
Yeah, to buy that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was
Creature Comforts.
And the next game we played was Cloud Age.
Yep.
By Nox Games.
Okay.
N-A-N-O-X. I pronounce it Nox. This was a game that was
probably not, but we'll see.
What? Not Nox?
Yeah.
This was played at 4. It was played for the first time there because it was punched out there.
Yeah.
Definitely a game that would have benefited from the person playing it beforehand.
Definitely.
Because learning a new game at a party slowed down the time by a lot.
It did, especially because I didn't have the rule book in my hand. Neither did you, so they seemed to be skipping around the rule book.
Yeah.
Because we tried playing it as we were learning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says between 60 to 100 minutes. I think we doubled that time.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a bad game. It's not a game that I enjoyed.
I don't know, because we struggled to get going with it.
Even once we figured it out, when it was like round 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Still wasn't a game I enjoyed.
Yeah, it wasn't a game for me.
Hence the worst game of the month seal above me. For me, anyways.
Yeah, and I would say for me too. It's not my style game. I'm not the big heavy gamer, and I always think this isn't a big heavy game, but it played that way.
Well, I think the problem is this game could be played as a single game, like how we played it.
Yeah.
Or there was a campaign mode. I think this game was invented for campaign mode because
Yes.
there was a lot you stripped out because we weren't playing campaign. They're like, don't worry about that. That's for campaign.
Yeah.
I'm like, what about this? Don't worry about that.
And the thing at the end of each round, how you build up your airship in this was a funky way to do it. And basically, you could always be blocked in what you needed.
Yeah.
Except for when it was your turn. Because we had 4 players, and at the end of each round, you went through the city 3 times. And you could take electric. Or no, you went through 4 times. Each player got to be the first one.
Well, that's however many times there was players.
Yeah. So you could build, you could take electric, you could take
a card,
water, or
electric, water,
or something else you could take. And
I forgot the last. Upgrade.
If you weren't the person that was first and got water, you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, because I took water every chance I got.
Yeah. And so if the first person always took water, you couldn't do anything because you needed water to upgrade. But you also needed cards. And at the end of the game, you kept taking the water.
Yeah.
And nobody else could, so nobody else could build things. It was almost, I won't say it was broken because, other people could have took that before you, but you had to play to build, and you had to play the other stuff. But
yeah, choosing resource or upgrade instead of having a resource section and an upgrade section really slowed you down.
It was really hard because once you got behind in your resource of water, you couldn't catch up. And plus, over then on that one scoring track.
Oh yeah,
weird scoring where if you did something, you got this plus water, and I don't know. And again, I can't say a whole lot about it. And yes, this may be the worst game of the month, but it may be the worst game because we learned it at a party with people who've never played it before, skipped around the rule book. Um, and you know, it says it's best at 3.
Yeah.
You know, we played at 4. So I don't know. It's very hard to say yes I like this game or no I really did not like this game.
Like I said, it was a campaign game where they're like, oh, we should probably throw in a non-campaign mode so people
Yeah.
play it. That's what I felt like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that are really broken for non-campaign versions. Like, oh, this one person's upgrading. Guess what? All of you are upgrading. It's like, but I can't. First person chose that they were going to upgrade.
Yeah.
So it would be a waste of a turn.
Yeah.
And if the next person chose upgrade, you wasted 2 turns.
Well, and yeah, with the build.
Yep.
So if somebody chooses build.
Everybody, if the first person chooses build,
they get to build 2 things. You get to build 1.
Yeah.
So when you needed to upgrade, you almost had to make that your choice. So you got the 2 upgrades versus the 1.
Yeah.
Which then you didn't get the other resources.
Yeah.
And then when you did need the resources, if somebody else was ahead of you in choosing what they wanted to do, you almost didn't get that resource because water was the thing everybody chose almost all the time first.
Then I didn't like the moving mechanic.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because the last play of the game, you know, because you had to end in a place.
You had to end in a city all the time.
But my last card I drew was a 0,
Yeah,
which I had a bonus in 1 movement. I couldn't get to a different city.
yeah.
So my last turn was completely pointless in that game.
Yeah, I mean, the drawing the 2 cards and the lower one being the energy you get, the higher one being your movement.
No, the lower was your movement, your higher was your energy. That's why my movement was 0.
However it was, it was very confusing, and it took a little bit to get used to. But again, maybe as a solo game or campaign game, yeah.
Yeah.
Or actually sitting down, playing it again, and reading through the rule book and not trying to learn it on the fly. But that was Cloud Age.
Yeah.
And then our last game that we played this month was Just One.
Yeah. Classic party game.
Really good party game. And that is from Repos.
Yep.
And we played it with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We played with 8 people.
You could have just seen how many plays there and added 1 to it.
It plays 7 plus.
Yep. So we played with 8.
It says it's best at 6 or 7. We played with 8. It's a blast.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's a standard party game.
Yeah. Because it's funny to see what people will put. And especially, it was fun to play with people we didn't know real well.
Yeah, like we've known them and we've played with them before.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's been so long. And
But we didn't, like, they don't know some of our things.
yeah.
Like, the one word that somebody had to guess was
Rain?
myth.
Oh, man.
Was myth. Well, my thing was me. That was my clue. I put me because the man, the myth, the legend.
I just put fake.
That's how I put it in my head. Yeah, one was rain.
Yeah.
Somebody had to get.
Yep. You put man.
No, yeah, I put, or no, it was man. I had to guess man, and I put rain.
No, because I put parade. Because rain on my
Okay.
parade.
Okay, so yeah, so it was rain, and I put man, thinking they'd get Rain Man.
Yeah.
Because my other thought for that was the Beatles,
Mm-hmm.
because of Rain, the
Movie.
cover show.
Well, I mean, it's been turned into a movie.
Okay.
It's been a stage production.
Yeah. But this game brings huge laughs. We laughed the whole time, especially when somebody got a type of cheese.
Camembert.
Yeah, and none of us knew what it was.
Well, we knew what it was. We didn't know how to describe
How
it.
to get that person to say that type of cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just funny moments. It's a great party game. If you ever get to play Just One,
Yep.
take that opportunity. If you're playing with people you don't know really well, it can be just as fun. as playing with people you do know.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, we don't have more friends to own that we should get this game to play.
Oh yeah.
Because I think I'd play it more.
Mm-hmm.
But so you picked your least favorite of the month.
Yeah.
So I guess that means I got to pick my favorite of the month.
Yeah.
And man, that's a toss-up. Because it'd be between Just One, Horrified, and Koi Garden. I gotta go with Just One for the sheer factor of how fun it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, playing that with a group, and that's what makes it. You know, I get to play games with you all the time.
Yeah.
I don't get to play games with these other people very often. So that is our games played for the month of May 2022.
Yeah. Make sure to stick around for our Kickstarters for this month. And as always, stay sweet.